Hey, church family, I'm here with an update for you all and a couple guidelines as we move forward. So, first, I wanted to update you on the Easter offering that we took last month to give to those in our local community who need help. And so, on Easter Sunday, you all gave a little over $3,700. That's amazing. And so, thank you so much for allowing God to use you in that way. And so, we have a benevolence team that is using those funds to give to people in our community. And the organizations that we're giving to with the Easter offering are Northside Social in Clarendon. As I know, many of you frequent that coffee shop. They had to lay off a number of their employees, and so we're giving to them to support those who lost their jobs. And then we're also delivering food to 3 departments in the Virginia Hospital Center for workers who are working on the front lines there. And so just want to say thank you so much. We're still working on finalizing those gifts to Northside and Virginia Hospital Center, so we'll update you after everything goes through. But the spokespeople for each organization were so grateful, and they know that their workers are going to be immensely grateful as well. So just want to let you all know what your giving is going toward. And so thank you so much for that. Next, a couple of guidelines as we move forward as doxology amid COVID 19. So, some of you may know that the Virginia governor has recently started to lay out a multi phase process for the state of Virginia to reopen. And so, we as a church also need to plan for what does it look like for our church to start to reopen as the state reopens. And so, a few things as we move forward with this. First, I just wanted to let you all know that we will be doing this with guidelines from real data that we're receiving, from the CDC, from federal and state government. And we're also doing this with the leadership community at large. So we're talking with other churches in the area. How are they approaching this? And then within our church, we have elders, deacons, and leadership team members making the decision on what it looks like to reopen. Now, it's highly likely that we'll make a plan and then we'll need to adapt and adjust as everything's changing all the time, but we do need to make a plan for what we're going to do. And so here's what I want to ask from you all as we move forward. And succinctly put, it's to extend grace to one another and extend grace to our leadership as we do this. One of the things that's been so sad to see in our nation is rather than this virus being a common enemy that's united the people together, is it's yet now just another thing that's dividing people, often among party lines. But for us, people who have been redeemed by Jesus Christ and are in union with the resurrected Savior who gave his life for us, we can be united together as we move forward. This certainly doesn't mean we're going to all have the same opinion on what we should do, of course not. But what it does mean is we have a posture of patience and humility toward one another. So it's inevitable given the spectrum of feelings and opinions we're going to have. We're all going to come at this from different perspectives, and I'm sure those who are more conservative when it comes to reopening are going to be tempted to look at those who want to move more quickly as maybe being irresponsible or unloving toward others. And those who want to move more quickly are going to be tempted to want to view those who are more conservative as being too fearful or not trusting the Lord enough or not valuing community or all those kinds of things. So I just want to remind you all of what the main thing is, and that's the gospel of Jesus. And so we can move forward in spirit together as a church and be patient with one another, as not everyone is going to be ready to move at the same pace with one another. But I want to do our best not to operate out of the spirit of fear or self-preservation, but how can we love one another and worship the Lord and serve our surrounding community? Okay, so that's with regards to as we roll out our plans moving forward. And then finally, when it comes to our weekly groups that meet and then also our Sunday service, I'm so proud of you guys for I know a lot of you are still engaging in Sunday service and are still meeting in your groups. And so I want to encourage you, those who are starting to feel just kind of tired of virtual everything. I know I've become to feel like a general malaise has kind of fallen over me as well. But Kelsey and I were talking about this the other day because sometimes it can be hard to for example, in Sunday worship, maybe singing is hard for you to do in your living room, or sitting under the preached word in your home is hard, or any of the other elements of the service. And part of that is natural and good because we're made to worship together, like with our physical bodies, because we're geospatial beings. However, we do have to do our best to continue to love one another, be present with one another in groups, and then worship God on Sunday because it's an indispensable way that He grows us. And so, my encouragement to you all is to not drop off the map when it comes to your discipleship groups and your community groups. And when it comes to Sunday service, to if you are kind of just wrestling with having a hard time feeling engaged with a part of the service, just to pray beforehand and ask the Lord to adjust the posture of your being so that you can praise Him, that you can hear from Him, and continue to grow as a disciple. The church has had to worship amid difficulty all throughout the ages, and so we're no different in that sense. And so thank you for everything you guys are doing. I will see you all at service tomorrow and look forward to continuing moving forward as a church together.